Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Goaltending, where your why is bigger than your excuses. Let's get right to it. Motivation is a lie. Discipline is what is going to get you there. Let me give you that one more time. Motivation is a lie. You need discipline if you want to accomplish your goal. That's the topic of today's discussion. And what I mean by that, let's just give a comparison, something that's easily relatable. Let's think about relationships, right? The beginning of a relationship, everything's exciting. Everything is new. You're learning about each other. There's this infatuation where you just want to talk and be around each other all the time. Everything's good. That's what motivation looks like. When you're starting something new and it's exciting and you're learning and you're looking forward to it every single day. And as time goes on, it's no longer new. It's no longer the constant excitement for the communication piece. It starts to become something that, sometimes you take for granted, that you just get used to having the person around. It requires work and intentionality and building something together and communication. The motivation's gone. The honeymoon phase is over. So what is it that leads to that long-term success? And it's the discipline. It's the habits. It's the things that we continue to do in the absence of motivation that make it work. And so in this case, we use a relationship as a comparison point, motivation being that honeymoon phase and discipline being what keeps us running long-term, sustaining that relationship long-term. Now relate that to your goals. You can't rely on the motivation. You have to be able to act in the absence of motivation. Now, the reason this came up, the reason it pops in my mind is because the last 2 months for me have been a blur. Extremely busy with work, finishing up a work project that I've been kind of a year almost in the making, finishing up that project, going straight into my daughter's nationals dance competition week, which was a vacation / dance competition, but very busy, week long. It took up 2 weekends and a full week. I get back from that, couple days at work. The following weekend, I go on a long golf trip with some friends. Then the following weekend after that, I go on a weekend family trip. And so we're looking at a full month of a ton of travel, a ton of work requirements, as well as really just wanting to be present in the moment and not really having the podcast as my top priority over the last couple months. However, I've still maintained the podcast. The podcast still means something to me. Coaching and creating valuable content that can help people, that means something to me regardless of how busy life gets, of how much everything else is going on. I set that as a non-negotiable priority for me because that's where I find my fulfillment. That's my journey. That's my purpose in life. So I made it non-negotiable. I stuck to it, right? I'm 2.5 years into doing the podcast. The honeymoon phase is over. So I didn't have motivation to just get podcast episodes recorded and done over the last couple months. There wasn't necessarily motivation there to do that. No, I stuck to the discipline because I've created a consistent schedule and I've said I'm sticking to that no matter what. So it might be a long day at work. It might be other things going on in life, but I communicate with my wife. We work out a plan and I schedule in time to get the podcast done. I make it happen because I have built in a way to be disciplined to get it done when motivation's not there. And this past couple months, the motivation's not been there. And so another thing, I did miss publishing an episode 1 week. Whether or not anybody noticed, that doesn't really matter. Like to the rest of the world, no big deal if Will Bland doesn't publish a podcast episode 1 week. But to me, I set an intention. I set a priority to create valuable content to help people because that is where I find my fulfillment, right? I set that for myself. So it matters to me. Yet, one week I chose not to publish an episode, and it was with great intention, right? So here's the thing. It's not about being perfect in life. And it's not about never missing a day or never taking a day off, but never miss 2 days. All right. So I missed that week. I picked right back up. It's okay if you miss sporadically and with intention. The reason I missed all of those vacations, all of those things going on, I reached the point that I was spending quality time with people that I cared about. And that is a even higher priority. And so my choice was to be present in those moments and sacrifice that week with everything that was going on. And I did. And I made the commitment to get right back to it the following week. And here we are, right? And so I say those things because it's okay to fail. It's okay to mess up. It's okay to miss. But you have to keep shooting. Don't just stop shooting your shot. Don't lose track once you've put a habit in place. Don't just throw the habit away if you miss a day. You have to get back to it, right? And so I want to give you all, here's the thing. We're talking about discipline, and that comes from creating habits, like having some things that you do on a daily basis, right? And so I'm going to give you some quick steps, because what I want you to do is thinking about that is I want you to implement a small habit this week, something that you can action, something you can start doing right away. You pick the habit, and it's based on what your goals are. So make it whatever you want it to be. But let's start with step one. Choose a habit that aligns with your kind of big goal or your broad goal or overarching goal, whatever it is that you're aiming for. Not necessarily a short term, just a small habit. It doesn't have to be anything huge, but a habit that is productive toward the goal that you want to accomplish. Step two, anchor that habit to something you already do every single day. So let's say like the habit could be, if I'm working on fitness, I want to do like 10 push-ups every morning when I wake up. Or I want to make sure that I take some creatine or some kind of supplement on a daily basis. I want to work that into my routine. Or I want to do 5 minutes of meditation every morning. You pick what the habit is, but now you have to align it. It makes it a lot easier to implement if you align it with something you already do. So for example, when I first started taking creatine, I needed a way to, how do I work this into my routine? For me, I'm like, okay, morning is when I'm getting everything together. My mind is kind of got a natural way of which I do everything in the morning where I don't even have to think about it. So I was like, if I want to work it into my morning routine, that way I've already got that thing done for the day and I don't have to worry about it anymore. I set my creatine by my lunchbox on the counter. That way, when I go to get my lunch, I know I need my lunch every day. The creatine's right there. I've got the reminder. It's out. I see it. And it's with everything that I'm grabbing. Easy money. So when I'm starting that habit, every single day, I make sure that I put the creatine by my lunchbox on the counter so that when I get up in the morning, I don't have to think about it. I don't have to remember to go find the creatine. It's right there with stuff that I'm already doing, and I add it to my morning routine of habits. That's just one thing. So if there's something that let's say it's the 10 push-ups. Let's say there's something that you do when you get out of bed, or getting out of bed is the routine you want to attach it to. Whatever it is, you find what routine you want to attach it to, implement the habit. Make it super simple. That's step 3. Super simple. We're not trying to create like some elaborate habit that's not maintainable. Ultimately, if you are putting a new habit into place, we need to make it something small, something that's not overwhelming, something that you can work in. Once we get it implemented into your routine, once you can do it without even thinking about it, after several weeks, it just becomes part of who you are. It becomes part of what you do. Then you add more on to it. So to implement a small habit is about keeping it as simple as possible. Step 4, track it. Now, that doesn't mean get super technical with it. You don't have to have an elaborate system. Since it's a small, easy habit, just have an easy way to track it. Like, it can be, you can get some kind of whiteboard, or if you, like for me, I have a vision board with a whiteboard spot on it. So if I have specific tasks or a daily habit I want to hit that week, I can throw it on there. You can use your phone. I use reminders in my phone for daily tasks as well, because I can also set in a reminder if I need to. But ultimately, you don't want it to be overly techy. You want an ability to check off or show yourself that you did it. And so, how do you track? And so, build that in. Keep it simple, but something that's going to be visible that you're going to see every day. And that's the reason why I use the reminders on my phone, because when I set a reminder, it also gives an alert. So I'm going to see that alert every single day, like, hey, you need to do this. And then step 5, it's exactly what I was talking about with the podcast. Don't miss twice. Okay, so if you're setting this goal for this week, go for it every single day. If for some reason something happens, it gets thrown off and you miss a day, don't throw the rest of your week away. Don't throw the rest of the time that you have away. Pick it back up the next day. So never miss twice. And that is how you build a super easy, super simple habit into your routine. Now, I want to give you a takeaway. I want you to take those steps, and I want you to make a non-negotiable habit for this week. All right. So when I share this, make sure you share this in your story, comment, or add into your story what your non-negotiable is for the week. I want to know what it is, what you're going for, and I want you to go get it. Follow those steps. Go get what's yours. Motivation's the lie. Discipline is what is going to get you to your goal. Thank you all for tuning in, allowing me to be a part of your journey. Make sure you all go like, subscribe, comment with your thoughts and questions to join the conversation, and let's grow.